Daylight to all. Satan and his workers are so funny. And that was a figure of speech. They think they are. They think they're clever. They think they're winning, but not if I'm still awake. Not if I'm not amused. I've noticed that in certain homes, dwellings, their ceilings are spiky. From the times that I was very young, I've noticed it. Ceilings being spiky. Like they make it into this sort of design, but the design is just specks of paint that looks tacky. And if you think about it, you would wonder why. Why is it that when you do see ceilings like that, or even walls, you find that they're maybe lower income? They wouldn't just have such ceilings like this in walls and royal places. The rich would not paint their ceilings this way. It wouldn't look spiky. None of what some of us see in our homes, they would have. But this is what he gives us. This is what he says we deserve. Because why can't we all have the same thing? It's just a nice paint job, right? It's just a nice paint job. But he is funny like that. He wants you to really see that you're least and that you don't deserve any of the things that he has. And he has been able to show the world that he lives in luxury, all the fine things, everything aesthetically pleasing to the eye, everything brand new and updated. There's no spiky ceilings in their home. The more that you, and again, this may not be every home that may not be considered luxury, but the more I would think you pay for your home, the more updated and luxury it should sort of show. And in those sort of dwellings, you don't see that spiky ceiling. The spiky ceiling is a childhood memory. I've been in people's homes that have it, and then there was homes that didn't have it. but it was always there. And you're just like, what's the reason for that? Are you painting with cheap paint? Why? Why does this person deserve cheap paint? Why? Does anyone deserve really anything of this that's not aesthetically pleasing, not not real? You find that in certain homes, whether they're houses or apartments, there's a real tub, as I call it, and a rubber ducky tub. A rubber ducky tub is a rubber tub, a rubber shower. But then you go into other homes, and depending on, right, they just have a real tub with real material. And you wonder why they do that. Why don't they all just have real material? But again, Satan is funny like that. He's very stingy, greedy. He likes to mock. And if you know someone that knows someone with that fruit, then you know exactly what it is. It's just a person that isn't fair, full of greed. They'll have the finest things. They will. They'll live in luxury, but they'll withhold it from anyone else. They'll give it to who they want to give it to, but they won't give it to just everyone. Every home should have a nice real tub, and some do. But you actually have to make sure that your apartment or the house that you're moving in has exactly what you're looking for. Because you walk into certain dwellings and you find that it's raggedy, it's poor, it's cheaply made. But they wouldn't do that to, let's say, a quote unquote luxury place. They wouldn't do that for the rich. They wouldn't give the rich cheaply made things. So now it's become this thing where you have to pay for it. Like you get what you pay for. But I've worked hard for my money. And who's to say that this is what I deserve? Because this is all I make. I'm a working hard earning citizen. Does that even matter? So now you have to make this sort of bracket. You got to make this sort of money to at least be able to have decency, not delicacy, But decency, you know, delicacy is being able to bathe, in a bath, soak. But you can't even get decency because you can't even get a decent soaking place, as they call it, a tub, right? You got to make sure, okay, when you're looking for a new apartment or a house, and ideally you want to create your own, right? Build your own home. But let's just speak hypothetically. Um, you're moving into something that's already built, and now you have to make sure that, okay, do you want carpet? Do you not want carpet? Is there a tub or is it just showers? And then if there is a tub, is it a real material tub or is it a rubber ducky tub? Because again, you wouldn't think that you would have to ask that question, but it's a logical question because they make rubber ducky tubs. Rubber tubs, rubber backboards, rubber showers. It's abominable. I know, it's gross, really. Think about it. When we were little, or at least when I remember having some raviolis in a plastic rubber container. And that stain stayed. That little red, orangey stain remained on that rubber plastic container. Do you think that you could be very so much comfortable soaking in a rubber ducky tub? No, sir. That is not real. That right there is not real. Mm, mm, mm. Anybody gonna talk about this? Because it ain't right. And there's someone out there that's arrogant and will say, well, you just gotta work harder and you just gotta make this amount of money to be able to afford it. And it's like, you're missing the point. Why should anyone have to work so hard or have to work in a certain career to be able to afford it? Because you could work in your passion and still not be able to afford it because they don't pay you enough, unfortunately. You have to work hard to earn a real material. You have to work hard to earn decency. Again, you're bathing in cancer. You're bathing in chemicals. Right? When we're bathing in its hot water falling against rubber, what do you think releases from that sort of material? Okay. Now, but I'm supposed to work hard in order to afford better. How about they don't make rubber tubs? How about that? How about they treat everyone the same, fairly? Especially if we're hardworking citizens. We work. There's people that don't even work. And they can, but they don't work. And they're in houses, luxury apartments. The list goes on. Okay? I'm speaking about hard earned, hard-working citizens. The least they can do is give us decency. Decency is nothing fake. If I did an inspection, it would say F, because you walk into these certain places and you find that the paint is cheap, the paint is toxic, you find that there's mold in these places, you find that the material is made of rubber and plastic. Like nothing is really real. When you look around, it's like, is the wood even real? You know, they have this flex wood or something like that. Is it even real? Is it even real? Exactly. And so the only other choice you really have is obviously to build your own. And we know you have to be able to afford that. To build, you have to definitely afford that, let alone trying to afford a luxury apartment. Because now it's called this luxury apartment because everything is luxury looking, everything is brand new, everything is updated. But you have to afford it. You have to make a certain wage. You have to be able to pull that money in consistently because rent is due every month on top of your other bills. Because rent is just your rent. Well, no, your rent as in your home, not the lights in your home, not the gas, just you living under this roof. That's it. You still gotta pay for using the stove. You still gotta pay for using the lights. You still gotta pay for using the thermostat. But you being able to live in this vacant place, no, it's no longer vacant. To be able to live in such a place, that's the rent you're paying on top of everything else. On top of running water. You gotta pay for your water as well. And your sewage too. And then your trash. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And those are just things that's in the house or around the property. You still have so many other expenses. So to be able to afford this, how can you afford that? You have to work in certain sectors. That's crazy to me. That's not right. Because now it makes it seem like people now have to work in these certain places in order for them to live a comfortable life or a decent life. They can no longer do this little thing that they were doing because it doesn't bring income enough for them to live comfortably, for them to receive decency. And that is sad. And so again, I'm not here to hear no lip. I'm here to acknowledge the truth of it. It's not about complaining. It's not about it. It's about acknowledgement. It just is the truth. And if someone has set these laws and regulations and, someone has created it this way, I'm just acknowledging it. I didn't make these rules. I didn't make these guidelines. I'm just a bystander witnessing it. And I am testifying about it. Now, if you can afford those things, great. Live your life in luxury, I guess, because that's what they're called. But I'm here just to say that everyone deserves just decent things. They don't have to be called luxury, but to just be able to wake up and not smell mold in your home. Not have to hear your HVAC system leak, leak water every now and again. You want to wake up and be able to get in your shower or get in your tub and be able to feel comfortable because it's real material. That there's no mold. Everyone should be able to deserve that and have that. Why has it become this thing where you have to earn it? You have to earn delicacy. You have to earn real materials. You have to earn it. Again, I didn't make these rules. There's already a ruler. I'm just like noticing it. Don't get mad at me. Don't question me. Question the ruler. It's easy for someone that's living so comfortably to be like, well, you just need to work harder. No one should ever have to work that hard. To have to work harder? You're working 5 days a week. And if you're doing 12 hours, then you're working 3 days a week. And maybe you're picking up. What do you mean harder? Because this person may have 2, 3 jobs? That's not normal. You have normalized it? Please don't. We people that work every day of our lives have to work harder to deserve comfortability. But we're not vain. We're not asking for fancy clothes and, you know, we're asking for just the necessities of life, but the real things, just like real food. We're asking for you to stop touching our trees so we can actually have nature bear fruit for us and feed us. We just want the real things in life. I'm not sure my phone is vibrating like this. We just want the real things in life. But there's always going to be that one arrogant person that's going to say, well, you have to work hard to get the good things in life. No, you don't. Because the real things in life were always free. We're always free and still is if you would just allow it to be. I know what I say. I know what I'm saying. I'm not asking. I'm testifying the truth. And then there's always going to be arrogant people that has their 2 cents. And that's not surprising. Fools will be fools. Liars will be liars. But the truth will be the truth. I wanted to touch on that really quick. I also noticed that this is a really sick world. And if we don't change our habits, we're going to be following their footsteps. Following in the footsteps of the sick and the dead and the diseased. Because they ate what we're eating. We're eating what they ate. Right? And really, you think that the generations are improving, they're getting wiser, but maybe we are. But in ways, we're not improving. We're only getting sicker. When you work, or if you're just around, whatever career that you're in, you have to be around people, strangers, everyday people, humanity. And you see that everyone may be going through something. Whether you see it or you hear it, they tell you about it, and it's a wake up call. Because, to give you an example, let's say a 45-year-old man is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And because of that, he has no teeth. He had his feet amputated. His fingers are black and pretty much dead. They're hard. The skin of it is hard. They're not soft. You know, when you touch someone's fingertips or when you touch someone's skin, it's soft. The skin should be soft. But no, it's hard. You know, like it's dead. There's no flow to it, no oxygen. And then their vital organs are failing. A 45-year-old man that looks 60. This 45-year-old man also has hypertension. So is at risk for heart disease, heart failure, strokes, heart attack. Again, their vital organs failing, having diabetes, your kidneys, all your vital organs. You may eventually have to rely on dialysis, receiving synthetic blood. It's horrible. Every other day. And that's your dependency. Because if you don't, your body's not able to release and that access that waste. So it does it for you. And if you don't, all that waste and access will build up in your body. So there's fluid retention. Your legs start swelling, your arms. What do you think's gonna happen? Right? Your kidneys no longer work, so you're no longer urinating. You no longer put out urine. What do you think's gonna happen? How is the body gonna function properly? It's not. Now it's backed up, and it really is. And again, I'm sure the body did not choose this, but it now is defeated because it no longer can release and run properly. So there's the dependency on technology, on dialysis and whatever else they're giving you, the drugs and such things. Whether they got to go in and take the foot out again and again and again. So your survival, your life expectancy is now shorter. Because now you can no longer live normally, just like an everyday person, where their body works and heals and releases, just runs properly. Doesn't have to worry about doctors or the hospital or clinic or technology or poisons, synthetic steroids. You can go on an island. You can get stranded for days. You won't die as long as you have some water, right? And you have some food in some way, something, right? Fruit. If you eat fish, fish. Because your body's able to release. Your body's still healing itself. So I wanted to touch on that as well because it just highlights that the world is very sick and it could be us. It can really be us. And it's going to be that way if we continue eating what they feed us, drinking whatever they put in. See, here's the thing, like our water source is coming from these tubes, these drains, and Lord knows what's in them: mercury, lead, rust, toxic. And they say, oh, it's filtrated, it's really. But we all know we're not supposed to drink faucet water. We know that it even, as kids, if we did have to drink it, or when we did, it tasted funny. It smelled funny. It always reminded me of toilet water. It's like, ugh, because it's the same thing, right? I remember as a kid, I would they would maybe tell us, oh, because I'd be like, I'm thirsty, and they'd say, get some water from the faucet, and you put your mouth under the faucet as a kid, and you'd smell it. Well, maybe in the places I lived, again, they weren't aesthetically luxury, rich, and nice and updated, and no, but I smelled it, and it didn't smell good. It smelled like toilet. Yeah. So drinking the water that they provide us, it's not fresh, it's not coming from the fresh rivers. Like, no, it's not. Lord knows where it's coming from. If it's filtrated, like, where is this water being contained? Where is this water being gathered? Where is this water being cleaned? It's like you have a water source, like a water tank, which they do, right? And that's where we get our water from. It's a tank. It's not an actual river, a body of water from nature, where nature is cleansing it, right? Natural salts and natural minerals. We're getting it from I hate to say it, a septic tank, like a tank somewhere. And yeah. Mm. And now they can make water. They can make and genetically create these things now. So now you don't even know if it's even real water. You don't know if it's real lemons and watermelons and carrots. You don't know. You don't know anymore. Because before genetically creating these things, it was, okay, all I need to worry about is this carrot clean? Okay, it has dirt on it. Well, we just need to clean it, right? I'm drinking this water from a well, and it has maybe some rock crumbs, some rock particles in it. And that's okay, because all I have to do is just filter it, right? But ain't nothing wrong with it, because that rock is natural. It's just a rock. When you're in a river and there's rocks, it's just a rock. It's okay. It's natural, as long as it's natural. I'd rather it be natural rock than a synthetic rock that's in my water, or that's in my waters. So you look at the generations before, and you know that they've had these diseases, that may seem like they run in our family. But really, when you think about it, we're all eating the same things. We all like to eat. Who doesn't? Who doesn't like to eat good stuff? Things that taste really good. But it's what's they're putting in it. Remembering that some of your favorite foods are not even natural anymore. They're filled with preservatives. Certain oils that are not good for you, where you think, how am I gaining so much weight off of just one meal, right? You say, oh, I only eat one meal a day, and you're still gaining weight because of what's in the food. You weren't crazy. It has now become this thing that you have to magnify. Got to keep a close eye open. at all times. Isn't it unfortunate? But that's what being, the auntie is all about. Because we have to be reminded, we have to stay awake and not listen to arrogant people because they don't care. They're Satan's seed. They're living lavish, they're living in luxury, and they'll say anything, right? Just work harder or stop complaining. But it's none of those things. It's just the truth. And let it be so. If I didn't say these things, these things would still be true because these things are happening. Not every home has real material. Why is that? Okay. So is that me complaining? No, it's me acknowledging the truth and me bringing attention to it. I know that's not fair. And I'm not bringing this case to Satan. He hears it, I'm sure, but I'm bringing this case to my Father. I'm speaking in the spiritual courts. That's who hears it. Out of everyone that may hear this in the spirit, my Father does. And my Father is the one that controls everything. He says, have you learned? Have you known? Have you realized? And by my testimony, my fruits, that is my fruit, right? It will show. Have I, Father? Have I? Through my testimony, have I realized? That is my acknowledgement. I have. And that's just what it's all about. I may not have the power to physically change these things, okay? But I do have a voice. And I can speak up about it. And I'm going to tell my Father about this. Because you can say all day that, oh, well, he knows this already. Yeah, but what if he's waiting for me? Do I realize it? Do I know this? Of course he knows this. It's not about whether he was going to be okay with it. I'm the one that have to live in it. What about me? Am I okay with this? No. Okay, then speak on it. Let it show. If you're not okay, then be real for once. Be a real person. Nobody's real anymore. Nobody's real. Everyone is make believe, pretend. And it isn't even fantasy. They make believe, pretend in darkness, pretend and believe in toxicness. Your beliefs and pretending is not even real. You would think these people would want harmony, But they're fantasizing about abuse and toxicity. They're like, I want my man to throw me against the wall and abuse me. Really? Lord knows, I don't have to go below. I don't have to go below. These people know. I don't have to take it that low. So again, we get my point. Nobody's real. And real looks like this. I'm not pretending. I'm not even fantasizing. I'm getting real with myself and where I'm at. I'm facing it. I'm not going to try to make it seem like it's something that it's not. I'm not going to try to cover it up. I'm not going to try to put a veil over it as the world has done it. And that's why I break the glass and I tear down the veil. Now do you see? You see the mold. You see it. You see the sickness, the death. You see it. You see how corrupt it is. Yeah, no one wants to see it. So we hide it. We try to make it pretty. We try to paint over it. But it haunts us, doesn't it? It haunts you. It will. And there's your horror movie. There's your horror story. It will haunt you if you don't face the truth. What's behind this door? What's under the bed? What you're sweeping under the rug? Who you chose to crucify will come back. There's the cause and effect to everything. That's what you guys call karma. Well, yeah, whatever you put out, you'll get back. What am I putting out? Justice and truth? What am I going to receive? Justice and truth. And that is with people and places and things. I'm not putting out toxicness to receive toxicness. That's not even what I want. So that's not what I'm going to get. That's not what I'm looking for. So that's not what I'm going to find. And even if it tries to find me or it comes by me, can it get in? No. Because I don't want it. I know I don't need it. Now, it can try the other person's home and that other person and see if they'll allow them to come in, and maybe so, because they may want that toxicness. They may need it. There it is. That's simple. So you call it attraction. Well, whatever. You get it. If you know these words and start showing it, being it, you say, oh, I want law of attraction. Okay, well, what are you attracting? It's like you say it, like you're supposed to say it in order to attract things. No, you have to be it. How about you be it? You're toxic, but you want to attract what exactly? Someone that's pure, that has harmony and peace. You're going to say, oh, I want someone that is filled with harmony and peace. But you've not done the work in yourself. You're toxic. No, that's not how it works. And just because you say it doesn't mean it's going to happen. But that should be obvious. That's why you have to get yourself together, get your mind right, have some sound mind at least. And then you can talk to your father, and he knows your desires. He knows when it's time and when you're ready, but you can talk to him about it and say, Father, I'm starting to realize I'm evolving for the better. I feel more peace in my heart, and of course I want peace, more peace to come to me. Ultimately, people and places and things. But I have to be ready. I have to be that at least. So again, you're saying that you want to attract these things, but you haven't put the work in. How does that even work? And the way that you'll know also that you're ready is if someone does come in your life that's peaceful and filled with harmony, and you welcome them. You accept them. You're able to exude that peace back. Not it irritates you. If it irritates you, then your spirit's not quite right. Because there's nothing wrong with them. Clearly, if they're trying to be nice to you, trying to care for you, and you're just not right. Because you haven't gotten yourself together quite yet. And so that's why you should wait and take your time. Don't rush anything. Whoever's meant for you will always be meant for you. Your people will always be your people. Doesn't matter. Let time tell. Because time will regardless. But don't try to control it. All you can control is yourself. And we all have to work on ourselves. Physically, mentally, spiritually. And with the help of God and certain individuals to keep us reminded every single day, all day, trying to clean up what's in our food and how we eat, cleaning up what we listen to, what goes through our ears and our mind, our body, what goes in our body, spiritually, physically, sexually, all of those things. It starts with just that. Control. And that's where you naturally attract spiritually. And if you're attracting it spiritually, it will come physically. It will come. So let's make a vow. Let's vow to never be like those people. Let's vow to be ourselves. To be real. And to get real with ourselves. That today, starting today, I will do all that I can to push myself to the version that I know I am. I just can't see. Because the version always changes, doesn't it? Right? You can eat this one thing, or you can do this one thing, and now you're changing. Just like that, like a spell. You know, whatever they're putting in these things. So you make this vow to no longer use their anything that's theirs. You know? You don't want anything from their hands. And you know that whatever's in their hands is poisoning us. It's bad for our skin. It's breaking me out, making me look dead. Dried up. Your skin just looks not great. You're not glowing. Right? And that's the thing. It's like those things that they give us are depriving us to where it's like, not only does it break me out and it leaves scars, but it's also sucking the oils out of me. And now it makes me feel like I need to get this now, I need to get that, I need a cleanser, I need an oil, I need this. And it's like, no. We stop taking from them. We stop eating from them. We go back to eating nature's best. Mother's milk and mother's meat. Not literal meat unless you want to eat meat, but I'm just saying we eat from Mother Nature. And just by doing that, our oils come back, our hydration, clear skin, fresher smelling bodies, okay? Fresher breath, fresher just private places, right? Because you're going to sweat, you're going to release. But what are you going to release? Are you going to literally be releasing unnatural toxins? Let it be natural, because I don't even want to call it toxins, but let you release natural things, right? Sweat, water, salts, you know, the leafy greens, whatever is in that, right? Because we know chlorophyll is in it, right? So that's naturally a natural absorbent, a cleanser as well. So it's like, let it release what it's going to release, but it's going to be natural at least, you know? And in all ways to say, everything is up when you're doing it that way. We have to let go of the addictions. We have to reprogram our mind. We have to do what it takes. We have to write it down. We have to plaster it across the wall because we're so close. The door is right there. And if this could be your last test, then you know what that means. And I'll leave it there.